Uh-oh. An error
Oh, no.
occurred.
We're live. This is live for me.
No, it's showing. Okay, there we go. What happened? What's going on here? Facebook is on.
No. No, not this one.
This is like jam, bro. You don't like this one?
Hold on. It Hope says it's not live.
It's not live? It's showing
live
your
now?
Twitter. It's not live on.
Is it live now, Hope?
Your
Okay.
Twitter, it's not
Hope
live.
says it's live.
All right, so wait, let's see. All right, so it says you are live everywhere. Okay, I think we're good. Renee's
No, we
in.
got people in.
People are coming in and they're digging this song. I can see. All right, so
So they're gonna. Well, look who's here.
who's that? Renee?
Jason.
I don't. Oh, Jason's. Oh, Jason, what's happening, brother?
What's going on?
Oh, you're missing the bread of life, man. We like to start off with terrible Novus Auto jams.
What other way would you start?
That's all we start off with terrible. My sister Michelle loves that song. It's a great song. We always like to start off with terrible Novus Ordo jams with this Protestant music. Listen, these are songs from my youth that I have a special place in my heart for. So I like to always start the episode off with one of them. My favorite jam is I'm a big Gather Us In guy.
Gather us in.
So I hate when it plays a commercial first, but let's see. Oh yeah, let's play the commercial first. Let's see. But yeah, I'm a big Gather Us In guy. So what's going on? I'm turning this off now. Dude, you're gonna miss out on all the fun. Let's see. Hang on, here we go. Ready? No, Don, you're in for it. Don't worry, we're getting it going. See, everybody, I don't care where you're from, you remember these songs. Like, these songs are part of our Catholic upbringing in the terrible years of John Paul II. So,
Can we even call it Catholic?
It's very
Catholic adjacent.
It's Mark is requesting On Eagle's Wings. So let's see. So we're basically just killing a few minutes because Kennedy's coming in a few minutes. We're still waiting on Mark. Joe Boca's running a few minutes late, so we're gonna yap for a few minutes until we get going. I was just watching. Oh wait. All right, so we're gonna have to. We got fan requests playing now. It's only a matter of time before they hit us with a copyright. I can't even listen to this one. This one's terrible. So tonight I have since Kennedy's coming on, I picked a bunch of not a bunch, but I picked a couple of questions about Our Lady of Guadalupe.
All the way up, Daddy.
Oh boy.
Daddy.
Oh boy, he wants to play.
Daddy.
He wants to play. So I picked a couple of Our Lady of Guadalupe questions. My sister Michelle gave me a couple of biblical questions because she likes New Testament questions. Let's see. Alex says, restoring the faith. Don't pretend like it's anything worse than you subject us to on the rundown. My son walked in the room, heard the music, and turned around and walked out.
Smart boy.
The thing is, I do have a bit of nostalgia from my upbringing with these songs. So as corny as they are, I do kind of, I'm not going to say they're guilty pleasures where I'm playing them in my car, but how's Mark doing? What's going on with Mark, Jay?
Oh, he said he might jump on a little bit late. I don't know if that meant past 7 or past the 45 mark.
Okay, let's see.
So which one of you guys runs the Twitter?
That's me.
Yeah, the funny one.
The funny one.
Hey,
yeah, we're gonna have to. Is Mark on Twitter?
No, he's not.
He's not on.
I've been trying to get him involved. Now I came prepared today. I brought my smart water.
I got one of those too, man.
I'm hoping it helps me.
I'm all ready to go.
Oh no, I got essentials. Essentials. Yeah, no, Twitter is the devil's playground, as per Mike from RTF, man. It really is. You got to be very careful on Twitter. It's not a great place to be if you're not equipped for it. But today I went to the dentist and I got a whole bunch of fake teeth put in, and it looks really weird to me because I'm not used to having straight teeth. But I ground my teeth down to the point where I was down to the nerves. And the dentist told me, he goes, dude, if we don't put veneers in, I wanted Jake Fowler to come in with us tonight. I don't think he can make the whole show. So I did invite you, Jake. He's not able to be on much tonight. So, yeah, so I have to get veneers, but I'm not used to having such perfectly straight white teeth. It's really strange to me. And these are just temporary, so I can't get any air through them. So it's like, you guys might hear me speaking a little strangely tonight.
Strangely.
That's every time.
Strange. I'm not used to having. All right, we got Kennedy Hall. Kennedy.
What's going on, guys?
Kennedy Hall. If anybody, because I know I have siblings on that don't, they're not obsessed with Catholic YouTube like we are.
They have lives.
And if anybody doesn't know who Kennedy Hall is the hardest working man in Catholicism. I think he works at Veritas Radio. He works for LifeSite News. He's on The Meaning of Catholic. He's writing for 1 Peter 5. He writes for Crisis Magazine. I mean, Kennedy, where don't you work?
Well, I don't work for Veritas right now.
Whoa, what's going on with that?
Well, I just had to take a paternity thing. My wife needed extra help. Her pregnancy is pretty tough. But I started
paternity thing. You don't mean test, right?
No, I know I'm the dad.
So they give you paternity leave over there?
No, I just told Mike I couldn't do the show for a while.
All right. So, Kennedy, I asked Jake to come on tonight. He wasn't able to, so we'll make it happen. I need to grow in humility, and this is the way to do it. So we have a thing. Jake last week actually said we don't have fans, we have hecklers on this show. And let's see. Yeah, we have hecklers on this show. So basically, everybody's gonna make fun of you while you're on here. Kennedy, I've been asking to come on the show for.
Asking is probably a little too gentle.
Yeah. I've been pestering Kennedy for quite some time now. And last week I sent them the parable of the two sons. And they said, Kennedy, the two sons, because he keeps saying yes to me. But what happened was I asked him a few weeks back, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'll come on. And then the trucker convoy happens. And Kennedy's in Canada, and he's the guy that everybody's going to. He's also working at the Fatima Center, which I didn't mention. So right after the trucker convoy ends, Pope Francis consecrates Russia to Our Lady of Fatima, or to Our Lady's Immaculate Heart. So he was the go-to guy for every one of those things. So I could not get Kennedy on. So I finally just guilted him into it. And I said, Kennedy, if you don't come on.
Anthony just made another error. I don't work for the Fatima Center anymore.
They don't. You're not there either.
No, I used to work for them, but then I just continue doing my show on my own, the Kennedy Report.
So now you're doing the Kennedy Report. Okay.
Yeah, but it gets confusing. It's confusing because it was the same show, but I'm Kennedy, so I'm just still reporting.
Dude, I'll tell you, man, you're better off doing everything on your own these days.
Honestly, LifeSite News is the best company I've ever worked for, though. I mean, I was a teacher for 7 years, so it was weird working for communists. But working for LifeSite, it's just such a healthy. They're the kind of place where you can, if you work for LifeSite and get canceled, I think you have to actually be a Nazi. Come on, you can't get canceled from there. It's all just straight truth. So it's wonderful. So they let me do my own stuff. I mean, as long as I get my work done, I just kind of record and, outside of my work hours or on my lunch or whatever. And it's the best.
So when you first started doing this whole thing, like when your first gig was with Tim Flanders, right? You guys started Meaning of Catholic together, right? So
I was teaching, and then I got on Twitter. I made the decision to be. I made the decision. What's it called? They call it the proto-evangelium. It's like before the gospel. They should call it like the proto-cancellation. I made the decision that I was going to eventually be canceled, so I outed myself as a traditional Catholic, and I met Tim on Twitter, and then he wanted somebody to talk about evolution, like traditional doctrine of creation. So I did. Hey, Enoch, what's going on, buddy?
So we really do have a fun show tonight. We got Fawaz with us. We got Kennedy with us. Enoch just put out a traditional Catholic hip hop album, and I was really when I heard you were putting it out, I was like, All right. I was really anticipating cringe. I'm not kidding. Yo, I was anticipating cringe. Now listen, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up listening to Boot Camp Click. I grew up listening to Gangstar. I grew up listening to we grew up in the heyday of hip hop. So I was so pleasantly surprised with this album, man. I've been jamming out in my car every day.
Thanks, bro.
Very, very, very good album, man. I was very happy that you agreed to come on tonight.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for the
article
invite.
I wrote about in the chat. You guys can share that with the audience.
Yes, we can. We can. Now, how's your wife doing, Enoch?
She's good. It's pouring outside, and I've got mowing the lawn still, so she's fine.
Now she's due any day, right?
Any day, yeah.
Is that your first, second, third? What are you up to?
Four boys.
Number 4. Look at you, man.
Pop them out.
So, all right. So now for the new guys, what we do on this channel is we do Catholic trivia. If you don't know the answer to something, I want funny over correct every time. So it's really, you don't have to be, you don't have to know everything. You just have to try to make people laugh. That's the intent of the show. What I'll have the contestants now, Kennedy, you don't have to participate. Enoch, you don't have to participate. You could just stay, hang out, and make fun of everybody, or you can participate in the trivia. Jake
I'll be here for about 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, you stay. Listen, anytime you got to cut out, you can cut out. If you guys can't stay the whole show, you guys do whatever you got to do. Stay as long or as short as you want. Last week we had Matt Gaspers and Anthony Stein on. They said they were going to stay a short time. They wound up having such a good time. They stayed the whole thing. You don't have to. It's such an unprofessional thing. If you got to bounce, you just say, "And I got to go," and we'll go from there. Kennedy has to answer all questions in Latin. Yes, Shelby, the funniest person. That's
the answer to everything's
motto.
That's my motto. I want funny over correct every time. So, what time we got? We usually start the questions around 8. I got Joe Boca. We're just waiting on because he was last week's winner. He's setting up right now. He should be in any second. So we'll wait a couple seconds just for Joe to pop in. Hope you are both funny and smart, and you're better at most of these questions than your husband. So stop playing modest. Kennedy, I picked a couple of Our Lady of Guadalupe questions tonight because I know she had a big part in your conversion.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's my favorite. Absolute favorite.
So while we're waiting, you want to just tell people what were you doing before your conversion? What made you even go? How did Our Lady of Guadalupe play a part in your conversion?
Yeah, so I was raised in a Italian household. I know my name is Hall, but my mom's an Italian immigrant and dad is just Canadian, but divorced family. So I grew up with all the Itals, and but we were just culturally Catholic. There was no devotion or anything, right?
Make the sign of the cross as you pass in a cemetery. Things
Basically,
like that.
Yeah, there was Virgin. If you're an Italian atheist, you still put a picture of Mary on the wall. Like it's just something. And so anyway, I just eventually kind of lost like the little faith I didn't have, right? And then I've got a lot of faults. But one of my virtues, despite my 75 other faults, is that I can't stand hypocrisy at all. I'm uncompromising, which is bad sometimes. So when I was considering religion and I knew nothing about it, I was like, well, I'm a hypocrite if I call myself religious because I don't think it's true, right? That sort of thing. But then the flip side happened when I went to consider a career and I wanted to teach, and I wanted to teach in the schools I grew up in. They were Catholic schools. It wasn't because of the religion. It was because I had a good time and enjoyed myself. So I said, I'm not going to teach in these schools if I don't believe the religion. Then I thought about my no, God rest his soul, and my old football coaches, these Italian men that were just really good men, and they were faithful Catholics. And I said, okay, well, I respect them. I think they were smart. I owe it to them to say I'll try and I'll see what they were believing in, because I think they were good men. I don't think they were dumb. It was more out of respect. So then I looked into it, and you start looking into Catholicism with an honest and open heart, and you'll obviously find true things. Fast forward, I was still kind of like a liberal Catholic. I was just like a secular guy who was sort of lukewarm in the faith. And then I was asked to go on a mission trip in this Catholic school board I was working in, because I speak Spanish. I was the only male employee who spoke Spanish who could go. I did not know what an apparition of Mary was. And I found myself in Mexico at Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I learned about everything while I was there. And then after a week of, we were in the dumps, like literally the garbage dump, with the shanty towns and doing all the stuff you do on a service mission. It's funny. It was actually with a charismatic group. Can you imagine me with a charismatic group? And
I grew up in that environment.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I
grew up in that environment. My mom was a big part of the charismatic movement. I'll tell you right now, we listen, they're terrible with liturgy, but they're some of the most faithful people.
It's supernatural faith. They have supernatural
100%,
faith. So you're in Mexico. We're all like, it's like we're sharing every night. Everyone's crying because like you're at a lack of sleep and like you got diarrhea because you're in Mexico and like, like it's just, you're just broken down. And then it's like, let's pray the rosary. And you're like, okay, all right, Hail Mary, and
sounds like a focus retreat.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so then we went and visited the shrine for the second time on the last day. And I knelt down in front of where Our Lady appeared to Juan Diego. And I was all primed, to sort of, to have that come to Jesus moment. And it was really, really powerful. And it was life-changing. It's never been the same. I came back, my poor wife, we were married at that point for a year and a half, 2 years. We just found out we were pregnant with our first child. And I was like, sweetie, so we have to like be open to life forever.
So wait. I never heard this part of the story.
Yeah.
So where was your wife at spiritually at this time?
My wife was never for or against Catholicism. She was just apathetic. She was like,
she's
baptized nominal
she
Catholic.
Baptized Catholic, so she didn't have to convert or anything.
No, she was like Irish background, right? So actually she's part native, 1/16 Métis, so there's some old Catholic family there. But I came back and it's like middle of the night. I get in, I drove in from the Toronto airport. I'm like 2 hours from Toronto. I come in, it's Mexico's 25 degrees and sunny. I was minus 25 and snowy. It was like two different worlds. It was the beginning of March.
We need a conversion to real temperature, please.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. The temperatures become the same at minus 40 Fahrenheit. So minus Fahrenheit and Celsius get the same there. So we were probably about minus.
You Canadians and your extra vowels and your metric system.
And 25 Celsius is like what, almost 80 Fahrenheit?
75, 80. Yeah. So we were like minus like 18 Fahrenheit or something like that. That's just normal winter. So my poor wife, I come in and I'm like, so, we have to be open to life, no more contraception, and we got to go to church every Sunday. By the way, we're going to pray the rosary, and I gave my life to God. And she's like, that's nice, honey. Like, I'll talk to you in the morning. And then she was in for a rude awakening. So she followed me though. And grace is more powerful than my arguments. Thanks be to God.
Well, I want to tell you, we did a stupid marriage show last week. And one of the first things I said was,
stupid marriage.
It was like horrific advice. Like, so Mark Barrera says one of the best Taylor Marshall shows was when Kennedy was interviewed. So, but one of the pieces of advice I gave was men can marry a non-Catholic woman. Women cannot marry a non-Catholic man. So Rob married a non-Catholic woman. I married a non-Catholic woman. Both of our wives followed our lead and converted and became Catholic. Kennedy's wife, similar story. He converted first. A woman will follow a good man wherever.
That's my story as well.
See? Yeah. So a man has this ability to have such an effect on his family that they will follow him into anything. Yeah. And that could go either way. I mean, I know plenty of guys that go down the wrong path and their family follows them that way too, So, okay. So Enoch, if you could stick for the whole show, I want you to compete too. So what I do is I have everybody switch over to private chat. So this way here, you guys can't see the comments because we let the chat actually compete also. So we have Joseph Goebbels just joined us.
Yes, sir.
Where you going with that Hitler Youth mustache?
We made it 20 minutes without Nazis this time.
My mustache is way too long for any Nazi references. It goes all the way to the end of my lip. This is nonsense. Why don't you have any facial hair? Is the more accurate question.
Yes. Okay. So I have to shave now because my wife, it either has to be a full beard or it has to be totally shaved because she doesn't like stubble where it's rough on her face. And I shaved recently, and I've just been sticking with shaving because my wife likes a nice soft face when I kiss her. She won't kiss me unless I have a winter beard, and I can't do winter beard in the summer. I sweat too much. I'm a savage. Ashley, yes, it's a. I know a lot of Catholic women who really are upset that their husbands are not Catholic, and there's very little you can do about that other than pray and fast, because it's just that's the way it works. So Jake saying obviously full beard. Yeah, once November comes, I'll go full beard again. All right, so you guys will switch over to private chat. I'm going to start asking questions. The private chat, you're going to use like a buzzer system. You just put your initial in, and you're going to just punch in your initial if you hear the question, you think you know the answer. If you put your initial in the chat, you are risking a point. You can't throw your initial up and get the answer wrong without losing a point. So, Rob, you're over in the private chat. Just make sure you guys all punch your initial in, hit send. Everybody make sure their initial will go through. And Hope's making fun of me again. Is that a valid excuse to not have a beard? I do grow a decent beard. I just I don't know. I sweat like a savage, bro. I don't know. So, all right. So you guys are going to use the private chat as a buzzer system. I'm going to start asking questions, and the audience will participate too. The person in the audience who gets the most correct questions, who gets the most answers correct.
How many points does Enoch get if he has a baby during the stream?
Oh, dude, you automatically actually get a prize if that happens. So,
well, does how much of your grifter money are you going to use to give the audience a gift?
Yeah.
Listen, man, I actually send every episode out of my own pocket a gift to somebody who wins in the chat. So Rob and I
we see it on Twitter.
Yeah, Rob and I have this hope that one day the channel will get monetized. We are a long ways off from that happening. So in the meantime,
first.
Yeah. So actually, yeah, Rob, we just started a channel on Rumble.
Yep.
Same channel name. So we started a channel over on Rumble. So if people would rather watch on Rumble, we're hoping to be able to switch over to there soon. So we'll go from there. But we're going to start with the questions. We'll get going into this because Kennedy only has about another half hour or so, 25 minutes or so. But I think he's going to wind up having fun and sticking around longer than that. We'll see.
I do want to. It's my wife is due in 9 weeks, and long days, and she's being very nice to me right now.
All right, man. Tell her to come on and you leave. We'll hang with the missus. She can play.
she'd have a blast, actually.
You go play Mr. Mom and let her hang with us.
Hey, if you ever do a woman's or wife episode like you talked about, I told my wife I was going to offer her as tribute.
So, I'll say this right now. I am really hoping that some women will volunteer to play. Because this is, I mean, we're talking Catholic trivia. You don't have to be a man to play. I think they're a little intimidated because we make fun of each other and we throw shots at each other. But the fact
we're
is,
just really smart. Yeah.
No, it's just Catholic trivia. And I think the women are better in the chat than the men. So,
I'd love to be full of excuses.
Mike from RTF. I am full of excuses. You know, listen, Mike. It's just Trudeau's got me on a strict curfew here, buddy. I can't help it. You know?
Oh God! All right, I see Jake Fowler's coming. I'm not going to post that one. All right, so we're going to go. You guys switch over to private chat. Here we go with the first question. What fruit symbolizes the church? What fruit symbolizes the church? See, Shelby saying she doesn't want to get roasted by Anthony. She'd probably cry. Shelby, I am never mean to women. I will be mean to my guy friends, but women, I can't. That would be unchivalrous.
We heard all about what you do to your wife in elevators on the marriage.
Well, that's different. And also, I told my wife to keep her phone near her because we were talking about negging last episode, and everybody was saying, like, I told everybody that negging works, and they're like, negging doesn't work. I said, do you know how I told my wife when I first met her, she had braces, and I said, one day you're gonna get those braces off, and you're gonna be hot. My wife got her braces off, and now she's hot, and I said, okay, now we can date, and it worked. So people don't think negging works. Negging absolutely works. All right. So does anybody? I got a lot of wrong answers. It is not a banana. No. All right. So do we have any correct answers in the chat? I do have a correct answer in the chat. So which one of you guys hit it first?
None of us.
Nobody?
Did it great?
That was low-key that was a hard question.
Wow. So I thought we already discussed
Kennedy had a
this.
guess. Kennedy's got a guess.
Is it like a grape for wine or something?
No, it's actually Judith got it. Pomegranate.
I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, pomegranate. It
Never
symbolizes
would
the
never
desert.
guess that in a million years.
All right, so I'm going to put Judith down for point 1. Did anybody else get it? I don't see anybody else has it. I see a lot of bad answers. Rob F says Boy George. Jake says Fish. Jeff says Gary Boris.
Wilton Gregory.
Yeah, I got a lot of wrong answers. So
who's Gary Voris?
it's Michael Boris's real birth name.
I know that, Anthony. I was trying to get you in trouble.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Who's he associated with?
Yeah, I don't gossip about other Catholics. So I just can only, I can tell you who he was, but I'm not going to gossip. All right. So question 2, which book of the Bible do we get the common saying, the writing is on the wall? The writing is on the wall comes from which book of the Bible? It's a tricky one. Did anybody punch in on your end, Rob? None of you guys know this one? I see correct answers in the chat. None of you guys know this one?
Daniel.
It is Daniel. All right, so Kennedy's got a point. All right, Kennedy's on the board. Wow, I guess I asked some tricky questions tonight. Okay, question 3. All right, who had it? Judith, Don, Judith, Don, and Hope. Judith, Don, and Hope. So Judith, Don, and Hope. All right, question 3. Traditionally, what lies at the bottom of the Dead Sea? According to tradition, what lies at the bottom of the Dead Sea? This is a good question. Don, I still am going to count your answers. I know you can't win, but I like to give you bragging rights. So
I would answer Brunini probably.
Brunini.
Let's see.
That's crazy. I never thought of that. Is it like, okay, can you give hints?
Okay, yeah.
So
nobody clicked in?
Joe did.
All right, so we got to give Joe a
I
shot.
clicked
Okay, what do you got, Joe?
in. Yeah, I may not be right about this at all, and I might have my my seas and oceans mixed up. But is it like chariots and things of that sort?
No,
That's the Red Sea, bud.
that's the Red Sea. Yeah, so
It is the Red Sea, isn't it? Okay.
Moses part of the
I
Red
banged
Sea.
in
Yeah,
just
so that would
the
be the Red Sea.
yeah. What a shame.
I'm not gonna subtract the point on that, but Judith is on fire tonight. And all right, so traditionally at the bottom of the Dead Sea, you have Sodom and Gomorrah.
wow, I never knew that.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
That.
So part of the fun of this show is learning little things that, oh crap, I didn't know that, So, and especially for me when I'm researching the questions, it's fun because I've learned more doing this show than I think I ever did in any catechism class I ever took.
It's not a surprise at all.
No.
Yeah, I mean, what do they teach you in catechism? They teach you to do coloring books. So I got Judith is getting another point. Hallelujah just joined the chat, and Steven is saying he likes the gay theme so far. I'm not even sure what he's talking about. Anthony needs sources. My source for that one, I will show you right now, is Ultimate Catholic Trivia, 1001 questions for Catholic Trivia. And that's where I got Sodom and Gomorrah from on that one. If anybody else wants to know, I have the Great Catholic Trivia Challenge, and I also have the traditional Catholic Trivia game, which I pull a lot of questions from.
Well, this would have been useful before the show.
Well, I don't want to tell everybody where to cheat, but it's quite a lot of. So I'm giving Rob F. Rob F is getting a point, and Judith is getting a point. Judith, you are killing. You're at 4 points right now. Rob F is on the board. And we'll go to the next question. Okay. This question comes from my sister, Michelle. What did the poor widow put into the temple treasury? What did the poor widow put into the temple treasury? And if nobody clicks in, I will give a hint on this one. Everybody's excited for Judith, but Judith has already won. I've already sent Judy a book, so she doesn't like Judith. Okay, I got a correct answer in the chat. Any of you guys got it? Nobody. Okay, so I'll give you a hint. It's coins. How many coins?
2.
It is 2. Who said 2?
Yeah, 2.
Fawaz. All right, 2. Fawaz is on the board. All right, so I got. Let's see. I got Ashley got it first. I got Hope, and what's a mite? Is a mite a coin?
Might be.
Braids and mohawks. Huh.
Yeah, that's my wife, braids and mohawks. By the way.
So is a mite a coin? Ask her, because if she's right on that, I'll give it to her.
Well, two might sounds right, but I don't know if it's right for this. I mean, I've heard 2 might somewhere.
All right, so I'm going to put Ashley, Hope, and Ashley, Hope. Wait, let's see. Ashley, Hope gets a point. And I'm not going to write braids. I'm going to write Jason's wife. Okay, so we will move on. These are pretty tough questions. Usually you guys are all over me. All right, so they do get a little bit. Okay, so this one you guys will know. What is the name of the staff that a bishop carries? What is the name of the staff? Michelle, my sister Michelle wrote that question. She said bitcoins. It's the widow's mite. Haley says it might be. It's a little spelling pun. Okay, I got plenty of correct answers in the chat. Any of you guys hit it?
Yeah.
Who hit it?
I did.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Shepherd's crook.
I'm not looking for that answer. I'm looking for something different.
I got it.
Go ahead, Kennedy.
Crozier.
Crozier.
Oh,
Kennedy's
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
2, and I'm gonna put Rob as -1 because I love when Rob loses. All right, so in the chat, I got first one. So Ashley, a mitre is his hat. So Ashley was close. A mitre is the hat that the bishop wears. So I'm gonna put Jeff down, gets a point. Jeff, I got Jake and Don. Jake, F, and Don. Okay, so yeah, so a mitre is the hat. So, and with that, I have to depart. So I don't know why I put his name down in the first place. Okay. Here's a good one. This one's right up Kennedy's alley. This is a question about Our Lady of Guadalupe. So, all you guys have to be on your fingertips. What year did Our Lady appear to St. Juan Diego? What year did Our Lady?
1531.
Yeah, but you gotta let the chat answer first. You guys can't just start yelling it. Who went? You went? You got that, Fawaz?
I don't know. Did I?
All right. So I got Tobias got a wrong answer.
You're right, Fawaz.
Oh, I got a lot of wrong answers. Wow. All right. So no contestants in the chat are gonna get that one. Yeah. So guys, let the chat answer before you just yell it out. So this way here, because I got to keep track of them. All right. So this one's a tricky one, and this is a gospel question. At the wedding of Cana, how many gallons of water did Jesus turn into wine? At the wedding of Cana.
Oh.
Just let the chat answer. Let's see how the chat does. Let's see.
How many gallons? I was thinking jars. Okay, so
you could figure the math out if you know how many jars and how many gallons is in each jar. Shoot. That's how you do the math.
Is it 42?
Well, don't answer yet. Let me see. Let me see if anybody gets it. Hang on. All right, so Rob F has it. So it could be between two numbers. Okay, it's between two numbers. So if you read the Gospel of John, it says how many stone water jars there are, and it says how many gallons each stone water jar holds. So I see one person that's in that range. So whoever hit the button first, you can take a guess at it.
I don't know the amount. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right. You can say how many stone water jars.
Well, it's 6.
So it's 6 stone water jars.
6 days of creation.
Right. So now 6 stone water jars. Each jar holds 20 to 30 gallons of water. So the answer is between 120 and 180.
So this is anti Commonwealth because we use liters. So
yeah, but is the biblical translation in Canada in metric?
I just use Dewey Reams, but actually, you know what version I like is you're not supposed to like it as a trad because you're only supposed to read the Dewey Reams, right? But the Revised Standard Version. And it's funny. So I'm a postulant in the third order of the SSPX, which means I pretend that I'm actually devout. And we get a newsletter, and in there was a quote, like with like the chaplain for Canada, and he give like spiritual readings and stuff. And he quoted a Bible verse, and I remember reading it, being like, "That doesn't sound like Dewey Reams. It sounds like RSV." And in the notes, he said, "This is a sufficient translation for traditional Catholics, and it's easier to read." And I was like, "Okay." Now that's going to be someone saying the SSPX is modern.
No. So listen, if people are interested in that, so first off, my sister Michelle is saying that's very interesting. I never knew that either, Kennedy. So the 6 jars symbolize the 6 days of creation.
Yeah, because the Gospel of John is a what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like a mirror.
Well, yeah. So you look at it; it says on the first day, and it's going through the creation story.
Yes.
So when you get through the first 3 days, then it'll say on the third day, John was baptizing, and it brings you through the days of creation. So
it corresponds perfectly. So the third day
typologically
is the wedding.
Yeah.
So it's the wedding that is
on the same day that Adam and Eve are brought into creation. So now, for anybody that's interested, the besides the Dewey Reams, the Revised Standard Catholic Edition, the second edition, is the best modern translation of Scripture to read. So I read the Dewey Reams, and then whenever I have a hard time with the saying in the Dewey Reams, I'll reference it against the RSVCE too.
You know what's good as well is
Knox.
Knox is good, but it's got the one that's good but has terrible commentary is Jerusalem Bible. So the Jerusalem Bible was French. It was the one Lefebvre used. They used the La Bible Crampon and the Jerusalem one. Both of them are just been used forever in France. So in English, the Jerusalem Bible is a translation of the French one, which is based off the Vulgate. So it's a pretty good one. The commentary is nonsense. It's from like Doubleday publishers. Just don't read the commentary, but the actual text is really good.
Kennedy, you're fluent in French also because you're Canadian, right?
Well, most Canadians are not, but I am. Like
now, so you speak Spanish, French, Italian, and English?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, so Tobias says with some translations by J.R.R. Tolkien. All right, this one's one that I think everybody's going to get. How many articles of faith are in the Apostles' Creed? Don't answer. See who gets in the chat first with the buzzer. Let's see what happens with the chat. What happened to Mark, Jason?
I just texted him. He said he was going to jump on a little late, but I don't know how late it is. So,
okay, I got correct answers in the chat, which this actually, I have to say, this question came from Steve Waltman. Steve Waltman sent me this question. It was a great question. I figured I'd throw it in the trivia. Which one do you guys hit first?
I did.
Okay, what do you got, Rob?
12.
All right, so you're out of the negative, Rob. Actually, I think you're at 2, right? You got two right, 1 wrong.
I don't know.
No, all right. You're at
1. 0.
Well, I hope you lose. Don't worry. All right. So this next question is going to have a straight answer, and then there will be bonus points if you know the details of it. But let me just see. I can't, Steven, you can't get it. You gave me the question, Banana. Jake Scott's going to wind up bailing on us. So I'm going to say John Mack gets it, Judith, and Jeff. John Mack, Judith, and Jeff are getting points. John Mack, Judith, and Jeff.
Hear that?
That is a roasting.
So
like a campfire in a bowl.
Got a little moisture in there, it sounds like, Kennedy.
Pardon?
Got a little moisture in there, it sounds like.
Probably. It's you know what's funny? It's tobacco is so expensive up here, but But there's a company in the States. It's called Four Noggins. So there's a rule. I don't know how it works, but basically you can send as much smoking paraphernalia across the border, like pipes and lighters and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
So the company, I don't know why they do this. They get the business. They just send tobacco, and if it's under $100, it's never checked for some reason. It's called Four Noggins, and so we order our tobacco from them for American prices, and they bump it up by like 5% because for them, but for us, it's still 40% cheaper because our tax is insane. It's $22 Canadian for a tin of Skull.
Wow.
Well, you guys can get Cubans down up there, right?
We can, yeah, we can get Cubans. That's one. I've been to Cuba 3 times.
Wow.
And you can go. It's no problem.
Does your guy? Do your cigarette packets have those nasty pictures of like people with gangrene and
It's disgusting
and stuff like that? Do y'all have that on your cigarette packs?
We do, and because our government's so concerned with health, that's their main concern.
Yeah. They're so concerned with health.
You can't even have branding on it anymore. So now all the tobacco you get is in these gray monochromatic bags with just the name and white lettering and a warning. You can't even have like Captain Black or anything. No branding at all. It's no fun allowed.
Because I know when I was in Australia, the tobacco's super expensive there. That everybody just rolls their own cigarettes pretty much.
Yes.
My father started doing that for a while. Kennedy, Patricia's asking if her husband's asking if you speak German.
No, I don't.
That's a tricky language. I'm
not a heretic.
Judy's church is texting. Kennedy did a video on this. If anybody's looking, go on the Kennedy Report. That there's a news story out that the pro-aborts are looking to protest and just walk in en masse this weekend. So if you know any young men at your church, make sure you guys have a game plan in case that happens at your parish. Okay, so question 9. How many archangels are recognized by the church? How many archangels are recognized by the church?
Dang, you beat me, Joe.
All right, Joe got in there. Let's just see what the chat says.
Did Rob get in there first?
Rob's in first.
Yeah.
All right, now for bonus points, so for bonus points, if you can name the archangels, you'll get an extra point. But you won't lose a point if you don't know them. So I got a lot of incorrect answers. So the thing is, a lot of people are just saying the biblical answer. I see a lot of people saying the incorrect answer. I don't see anybody with a correct answer in the chat. So a lot of people know that they're okay. All right, let's see what Rob says. Rob, what do you got?
Depending on your trivia game, it may be wrong. There's only 3 named archangels
In the Bible. That's not the question. The question
church
is
has ever only
how many
recognized
archangels are
3
recognized by the
archangels.
church?
3.
That's
Now,
incorrect. There are 3 biblical archangels.
Now I know what Raphael's mentioned as being one of the 7 that stand before the throne of God, right?
So in Scripture, you have Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael in Scripture, but there are 4 others, so it's 7 total. Go ahead, Joey.
It's 4, right? Yeah.
No, it's 7 total.
It's 7 total archangels?
7 total.
That are
So, all right, so
recognized,
a little bit of trivia that everybody's going to get. So nobody in the chat got it wrong. The Bible is wrong.
So you have the 3, and then you have, what is it, Uriel, right?
Uriel, yeah.
Yeah, so you have Uriel, Jophiel, Camael, and Zadkiel. So,
Yeah,
okay,
I
so
believe those are recognized by the Orthodox Church, but not by the Catholic.
it says recognized by the Catholic Church
Ecumenical, bro.
in the Catholic trivia game. So Michael is the protector and defender. Gabriel is messenger of God. Raphael is the healer and physical illness. Uriel is the pillar of divine strength. Jophiel is the giver of joy. Camael is peacekeeper, and Zadkiel is the guide of life paths. So I'm not going to take a point away. I won't take a point away. And we got a new guest. What do we got here? We got Mark's in, and we have Jake from Liturgy Film. Jake, how's the debut going this week? And I see you guys are debuting everywhere. I saw Eric Salmons in Cincinnati for the premiere tonight, right?
Yeah, man, we did.
Yeah, that was a who's who.
Yeah,
okay, so All right, so I'm sorry. Bottom right of the screen is Jake. Bottom left is Mark. So I'm asking Jake first about the premiere of Liturgy film this weekend because they have a big weekend going on.
Yeah, we were in Chicago on Wednesday. We had Timothy Flanders there, Eric Sammons, myself, Cameron, the director, our composer. We had Lisa Bergman from Augustine Academy Press. It was awesome. We did a double feature of episodes 1 and 2 in a theater, kind of a historic theater that seats 900 people.
You guys had over 400 show up, right?
Yeah, we had close to 450, which is not too shabby for a 4-hour event about the Latin Mass on a Wednesday night in a city where you want to avoid
in Chicago
people.
In Blaise Supich's diocese. I mean,
yeah, it's funny. We invited His Eminence, but he didn't respond to my text. So
I didn't think he would.
So then we do like a panel discussion with Cameron and the guests, and then a Q&A. So people stayed, a long time in line to ask questions. And we're in Cincinnati tonight, and that was sold out. So that's great. And then we have a 2-night premiere in Dallas, Monday, Tuesday. And then it's San Francisco, and we end it in Washington, D.C. So it's been incredible. And we're trying to add some cities too. It's pretty expensive, and we're trying to pay for it so that tickets remain free.
Jake, is there any shot at you guys coming to New York? Because I want this thing in New York.
Yeah, we really want to do it in New York. We just need to get a theater, the rental covered. And then if we want Cameron to do a Q&A, then we'll have to get his plane ticket covered too. But it's possible for sure.
So what are we looking at? Like $2,000, you said? Because me and you spoke privately.
$2,000 is the high. $2,000 is the high end. I mean, I've seen them as cheap as $500, but most theaters it's like $1,400-1,500 for a 4-hour rental.
So you and I will speak after this. I would like to see if I might be able to raise some funds. I'll talk to people at my parish if we could raise the funds and pay for you and Cameron. Will you come too?
Yeah, let's do it. I'd probably drive up.
Too.
What part of New York?
St. Rocco's would probably be easy.
Yeah, so Joe and I are both on Long Island. So Long Island has three main Latin Mass communities. We have 2 diocesan Latin Masses and an SSPX chapel. And I'm familiar with all 3. Joe is also familiar with them. Between the two of us, I'm pretty sure we could raise the funds and get you guys up here.
Yeah, let's do it. I'd probably
so
drive.
Your best bet is St. Rocco's.
Yeah,
for crowdfunding it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fellas, I looked it up. I see now why Cardinal Supich wasn't there. Today he was actually in the bottom of the Death Sea.
Okay. Fawaz, you got the line of the night so far, all right? That is line of the night so far. So every episode, I always post the funniest line of the show. So far, Fawaz has it. So you guys missed the beginning of the episode. The first question or the second question was, what lies at the bottom of the Dead Sea? And it was Sodom and Gomorrah. So if you understand how really funny that joke was.
I knew it had something to do with Pharaoh or something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was actually a brilliant line. I'm actually, I don't think anybody's topping that one tonight. That's amazing. So from Mark, you and Jason are podcast buddies, right?
Yeah, and I heard he was embarrassing me, so I had to jump on as soon as I could. So and then I jump on, and it sounds like you guys are talking about Lord of the Rings or something. There was I couldn't keep track of what I was
backstage
like. Wow, this
for
was...
a while, man.
I didn't realize you were there. That's why. I swear I didn't. As soon as I saw you guys, I didn't mean to. But
so you know, if anybody's in Texas and a protester gets out of line and you need some help
Security.
with the law, Mark's your man. Mark will get you out of jail, guaranteed.
That's right.
Guaranteed.
Listen, allegedly got rough with a protester. Allegedly.
There you go.
Allegedly.
Really? So for anybody that's interested, Jason and Mark have a podcast called Tradmen Podcast. They actually got some pretty good guests. I'm a little jealous of the talent
they have
that
a
they're able
really
to pull in. I'm stuck with guys like Kennedy and Fawaz over here, and I got
have a really good.
I couldn't even get
really good
Cameron
guest
from Liturgy
coming up
Film.
soon.
I got Jake from Liturgy Film.
Well, guess what? Tradmen got Cameron, so they got to one up on him.
Exactly. I get everybody's. It's just what happens. But I'm hoping that you guys coming on and seeing how much fun we have over here, you guys will put a good word in for me, and maybe we could get somebody other than the lighting guy from the Liturgy film. I'm just teasing, Jake. I'm actually really happy that you came on tonight, man. I'm very, very excited for everything you guys have going on.
Yeah, I found a better internet connection than last week. So,
oh man, what a nightmare last time, right? We tried getting you on, we couldn't pull it off. So, Mark and Jake, what we're doing is I have you guys switch over to private chat.
Okay.
Kennedy, you still here with us, or you got to go?
I got like 2 minutes.
You got 2 minutes. You got a 2-minute warning. So Kennedy couldn't stay the whole time. He's got to get going. But you guys switch over to private chat. You're going to use the private chat as a buzzer. Hope that I'm second tier. So you guys are going to use that private chat as a buzzer. You just put your initial in. If you hear the question, you think you're going to get it right, throw your initial in there and let the chat answer first before you just throw your answer out. But whoever gets it in the chat, in the private chat first, you will get a chance to answer the question. So the question number 10 is, St. Augustine was the bishop of which diocese? St. Augustine was the bishop of where? Okay, so let's let the chat catch up and let's see what they say. Let's see if we get any correct answers. St. Augustine, I got correct answers in the chat. Which one of you guys hit it first?
Yeah.
Jake.
All right, Jake, what do you got?
Augustine of Hippo.
Augustine of Hippo. That is correct. So Jake,
what's that? 100 points? 1,000 points?
So Jake, you're in the chat for 3 minutes and you are on the board already. Don't worry, a lot of guys aren't even up yet.
How many points is it to buy a beard?
Dude, I'm clean shaven too. Don't worry about it.
All right, gentlemen, I got a jet. I got to do bath time and bedtime.
Kennedy, thank you so much for coming on, man.
This was really fun, honestly. At another point, we got March for Life next week, and for the Life side, I'll be super busy for a bit. But
Kennedy, I'm not going to keep bugging you. I hate being that guy.
It's okay. You bug me in like 2 weeks, so I'll be
just reach out to me if you got time. I always want any one of you guys ever want to come on. You have an open invite. I wanted everybody to see how much fun we're having over here.
This is great.
Anytime,
it's fun.
Just wait till you hear about Kennedy and Mass of the Ages collaboration coming up. It's going to be fire.
Ooh, it's going to be good. All right, I'll talk to you later, boys.
Thank you so much, Kennedy. I'll talk to you later.
Have a good night.
God bless.
Thanks, Kennedy.
All right, so we got
Does
Jeff.
that guy have a buttery smooth voice or what?
Oh yeah.
Listen to me. I listen to
You
Kennedy.
can almost forgive the Canadian accent.
I listen to Kennedy on the way into work at 4 a.m. on the Terror Demons morning show. I'm eating a Catholic.
Yeah.
I fall asleep on the way. He has the greatest radio voice I've
yeah.
ever heard. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's amazing. So Jeff, Tobias, let's see. I got Tobias up there.
Hey, did you want me to submit questions ahead of time?
Nah, I think you can hang with us, man. I mean, you can if you want. If you want to DM me any questions you got, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Want to shoot them over on the DM? I'll ask them. That's actually a really
Can I DM you on StreamYard?
I don't
We'll
want
see
you
him.
guys to see it though.
You want me to DM you on Twitter?
Yeah, DM me on Twitter, and then we'll go that way.
Copy me in the DM so I can look up the answer ahead of time.
A lot of people got that. That was a good question. So,
Well, he is known as St. Augustine of Hippo. So.
yeah, but that's why I want to see if everybody knew it. Augustine of Hippo. All right.
But you always kind of think in the back of your head, is that a trick question? Because it's so,
Yeah, is that the name of the diocese or just the town?
Seems
town,
obvious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, let me tell you, anytime you think, is Anthony tricking me here? The answer is no. No, he's not. He's not. He's not thinking that far ahead.
When I ask a trick question, I give you the answer in the question.
Yeah, he does.
That's usually how it works.
It's like double reverse psychology.
You want the answers DM to you too, Anthony?
No, you could tell us if you could just send me the questions and then you'll be the one to judge.
All right.
Or why don't you say the question and make Anthony answer
Yeah,
them?
you could ask it. Jake, you could ask it.
Anthony's
All right,
never
we'll
answered
do
the
that.
question.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
we'll
see.
do that because if you ask
And then
the
I can
question, then
participate.
I'm gonna buzz in and get them all right.
I can
All right.
participate. Go ahead.
We'll start with an easy one and we'll get progressive.
Wait. Let me switch over to private chat so I can get in here. I'm going to switch over to private chat. Let me get my initial up. All right, go ahead.
All right. So, what precise moment at Mass does the bread become the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ?
Oh, man.
What precise moment? There's a very precise moment.
In the Roman liturgy?
Yeah, I run an apostolate called Mass of the Ages. It's all about traditional Mass, Roman rite.
Jake is taking over. Jake, man, I'm still upset that you don't actually follow me on Twitter, man.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong with Twitter. The
No,
follow button,
For
the follow
about
button on
2
your
years
account.
now, for 2 years now, Jake.
I don't think
has-
Jake follows me on Twitter either.
I don't know
the
what you
thing
guys are
is,
talking about.
I've been trying to argue with it. So I tried negging Jake and it didn't work.
Yeah, no follow.
Yeah, I've been
that's
negging
brutal.
Jake for 2 years and
I'll
it hasn't worked.
Look, I'll get with my social media guy. I'll tell him to follow you guys. It's a whole thing. I'll get my people to talk to your people. We'll be cool. All
How
right, so
long
who
you guys-
buzzed in?
Yeah, Rob got it first, I think, right?
Did I? No,
Oh,
maybe.
I think I got it first, Anthony.
Oh, Joe
I think
here to
Joe
help.
got it.
Joe here to help got it.
What you got, Joe?
Can't let that go. The consecration.
That's not precise enough.
Yeah, that's not precise enough.
Oh, wait. Like the elevation or?
It is not the elevation. That's the common misconception.
Negative point, Anthony. Negative point.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
Yeah,
point away
negative
on
point
that.
be on that one. All right, fair enough.
I would.
How is it
All
not the
right, so Rob, you got in there next.
I think Mark did actually.
Okay, Mark,
Yeah,
what do you got?
It's the moment when the priest says the words, "This is my body."
That's correct.
Yep.
All right, Mark's on the board.
But I have to give just one quick piece of trivia there. So for those who go to the Novus Ordo Mass or had gone to the Novus Ordo Mass for a long time, one of the things that they removed at the consecration was that after that moment in the Novus Ordo Mass, when the priest says, "This is my body, given up for you, do this in remembrance of me," he immediately elevates the host. So if you've attended the Novus Ordo Mass, it would seem obvious that that's sort of the dramatic moment, right? Lightning comes down and the bread changes into the body. But in the traditional Latin Mass, right after he says those words, he genuflects before the elevation. And that's
Does he
critical.
kiss the altar?
Not then.
Doesn't kiss the altar? Okay.
But that genuflection is critical, right? Because before it's a piece of bread, and then he utters those words silently and genuflects
Now-
because now he's holding God. And
Now,
that symbolism
The
is
priest
completely
in the Novus
lost.
Ordo, he elevates it, then genuflects. In the
That's right.
in the Latin Mass, he genuflects, raises it, genuflects again.
You got it.
Yep.
Right?
Beautiful.
You
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Great track. Great question, man. Oh, you got another one?
I got a couple. Yeah.
Let's go. Keep going.
So this one's a little bit more tangentially related to the Latin Mass, but I'll tie it together for you.
Don't even know what that means.
So,
Jason,
So which
you're
title-
embarrassing us in front of our friends.
which title of Mary is a higher title given to her by the church? Is it Mary, Mother of God, or Mary, Queen of Heaven? Which is the higher title?
I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat. I have an opinion on this. I'll tell you guys if I had it right. I think one thing. I would think.
So on my chat, it looks like Mark got it first, but I don't know if I'm a second behind or what.
No, Mark got it first.
Yeah.
But we're waiting for the live.
Yeah, so
chat.
the chat, I'm seeing the same as what I thought in the chat. Okay, so all the people in the chat have the same answer I thought. So we got
Mark?
plenty of correct answers. You guys can go. Mark, what do you got?
Mother of God is the highest title.
That's what I would think.
That's right, and that's not too tricky
Yeah,
of a question. But here's what's interesting about it. When the church composes music, there's often lots of hidden meaning in song, right? And one simple example, and you actually see this all the time in pop music. It's called word painting, right? If you're about to change key, you might sing the lyric higher or change. Your lyric might match what's happening musically. A very famous example is in the Leonard Cohen song Hallelujah. He sings, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift. Well, he's singing what's happening musically, right? He's playing a fourth, a fifth, a minor, a major. Well, the church does this too, right? And that's a long-winded way of getting back to the point. In the Salve Regina, it starts out Salve Regina, which is, Regina is queen, right? And then the notes go up before you say mater, right? Mother is the higher title. And the music written by the church reflects that.
Isn't it
Wow.
amazing how much thought and precision Catholicism puts into
It's unbelievable.
everything. It's like
Absolutely.
that's why, like, when we started this show, it was like you could never run out of questions. You're talking about 2,000 years of the most deep, rich history. Like, you could never run out of questions. I mean, sometimes I'm looking through the trivia book and it'll inspire me to think of something. Like, some of these questions I thought of off the top of my head because they're just things that I've learned throughout the years. Like, we have the most amazing faith.
Dude, you know what I just found out about just recently? I didn't even know that this was a thing in the Catholic Church. There are Jewish Catholics. These are Jewish people who've converted to the Catholic faith, but they have brought with it their own, like, they'll still practice some Judaic, religious observances.
But they're Catholic. They're not Messianic Jews. They're Catholic.
Right. They're not Messianic Jews. And what's weird is I always kind of thought that kind of thing was like, we shouldn't do stuff like that. You want to know who one of their biggest supporters is Cardinal Burke, who is about as a traditionalist cardinal as you can imagine.
As long as they don't think the old covenant
that's basically
rituals are salvific.
Yeah, and he said they're not doing it to obey the law. They're doing it as a recognition that
it's more like a heritage
the Messiah that was promised in these rituals is Jesus. Like, and so they're using it to sort of reinvigorate their faith. It's kind of a devotional type thing, I guess.
There's a lot in the Roman liturgy. There's a lot in the Roman liturgy that pulls from ancient Jewish worship. One simple example is that there are 3 candles on either side of the priest, right? And if you look at a traditional Jewish menorah, and then you kind of either hold that up or put a drawing of it up over the tableau of the altar, and you add in the priest as one of the candles, you actually get that same symbolism there. And there's dozens of examples of that in the church's liturgy. Now, what's critical though, there's a
7th candle, right?
That's right. And what's critical about that though, and we actually talk about this a little bit in the second episode that's about to come out. The Jewish worship throughout the Old Testament was very focused on sacrifice, right? Blood sacrifice of animals.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The Catholic liturgy is also very focused on sacrifice, but as the Jews sort of diverged from, who became the group that became the Christians, the Jewish people started adding in more supper prayers, more meal prayers, more kind of what the Protestants did. It was more about community, communion, a meal together. And so in a lot of ways, the traditional Catholic liturgy is actually more Jewish than a modern Jewish service that you would see in a temple, because it's so focused on sacrifice.
Yeah, and also if you look at even what Paul was doing, Paul was telling the Gentile, so the whole idea of Judaizers, they wanted the Gentiles to incorporate all these Jewish ceremonies, and Paul was saying, no, don't impose that on the Gentiles, but he wasn't telling the Jews they couldn't continue in it. So there's something beautiful about being a Jew and seeing your religion fulfilled in Christ.
Absolutely. And there's a great YouTube channel. This guy, I think he lives in Tokyo somewhere. It's called the Jewish Catholic. And I've been trying, I'd love to get him on our pod, but I can't get a hold of him. Or he hasn't responded to my texts or my 50,000 phone calls. And now there's a restraining order, and but we're working through that.
That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. Just keep hounding people.
That's right.
Anthony's not afraid of a restraining order to get somebody on the show.
You don't even know what I do to get guests on this show, man. I'm amazed I haven't been blocked by all of you guys. Jake, I've been bugging since day one, so thank you for coming on finally. But,
man, this is great.
Fire another one away.
All right. What date does Mass the Ages episode 2 premiere?
Online or in theaters?
The online public premiere. What date?
I was just about to ask you.
Isn't that why you're here to tell us?
I gotta have one of the questions be a plug, right? But you can earn an easy point.
The other day I was on Tim Flanders' show talking about something, and I wrenched in the most shameless plug for this show you can imagine.
Shameless plugs is the way to do it.
It was such a shameless plug. I couldn't believe I got away with it. So I'm seeing Alex is saying May 26th. I'm seeing Hope saying the 20th, and I'm seeing Renee saying the 13th. Are any of those correct?
They're all over the place. May 26th.
May 26th. Alex is getting a point.
You're
Give it
not
to Alex.
letting us
Feast.
answer that
And
one?
Alex isn't even on Twitter anymore.
Why not? What do you mean?
What?
Alex Nagel.
Yeah, he's not. He left Twitter.
Good for him. Smart guy.
Yeah. I'll say. Yeah.
Hey, Mark, we're trying to get you on Twitter, by the way.
Dude, I wouldn't even know what I couldn't even get in the controversy because I wouldn't know about what to tweet that would make people interested in anything I had to say. I don't know how to do that.
Neither does anybody else, I don't think.
Yeah,
Mark,
that's
come on. You fit right in with our group. We'll get you in with everybody. I mean, it's very clicky.
Now, see,
Very
I've
clicky.
entered into that. I'm becoming my dad phase where now, even though I'm a relatively like younger guy, technology just confuses me. It annoys
Confuses
me.
you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
Anthony put me on.
Like
Like
got the
I
big
married,
number, got the big number cell phone.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I want to go
married
back
the
to that
oldest
stuff.
of a big family, and so she's got siblings. She's got young siblings still, and her sisters that are in high school and college. I'm only 27, but her sisters that are in high school and college, they come home and they're talking about the stuff they see on TikTok. And it's not like I'm not on social media. Like I run the social media for Mass Ages, but they start talking about stuff, and I feel like I'm 65. I mean, it's unbelievable how quick that.
You know why? Because you're not into like the filth angle of social
Yeah,
media.
yeah. All my timeline is just different people posting the same picture of a priest. Like, oh, isn't this beautiful? I was like, all right.
Yeah, no. Well, honestly, Catholic Twitter, and first off, there's two different versions of Catholic Twitter. One is where you have this group of people just attacking everybody and calling everybody a heretic and excommunicating everybody with their own. But I think that the group that I interact with a lot, we make sure we don't disparage anybody, we don't gossip, we don't talk bad about anybody. We kind of just uplift each other, promote each other's things. We try to be good to one another. And anybody that I see like being drastically negative, I get rid of. I block.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with it.
I got into this whole Catholic media thing just to excommunicate people. I think
Jason being Catholic, throwing anathemas around.
Yeah, Jason and I excommunicate about 20, 30 people per podcast. I've excommunicated him. He's excommunicated me. We're technically in schism at our podcast.
You got any more, Jake? You want me to go?
I got more, but if you wanna take back over, you just let me know.
All right. Well, I want you to participate a little. So why don't we go with this? Okay. The physical remains or effects of a saint are called what?
Come on, Rob.
Sorry.
He's quick. Rob, before even the question gets finished being asked, he hits it. The physical remains or effects of a saint are called what? Let's see if we get anybody in the chat. All right. I got plenty of right answers. What do you got, Rob?
Relics.
Yes, it is relics. So I got hope.
Enoch, how did that go in that first song on your album? What was it?
Which one? Die for this?
Yeah, metacarpals how did they go?
Fossils of metacarpals of apostles who wrote. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So I got hope. Renee and Jake got it. Everybody else got it. They just weren't quick enough. So I got a lot of people got it. And yes, I do know Stephen Waltman. Is he doing anything incorrect? Should I ban him? Is he saying anything
Hey, I've got a whole list of people.
Don's saying we talk bad about it. All right, Steven, you got to chill out with this kind of stuff, man. Steven's got to chill out, man.
Steve
Hallie,
only knows like one volume.
Yeah, Hallie. Steven is rough around the edges, but I do know him. He's a good guy. He's just a little rough around the edges.
I got a
Mark
question.
Barrera, I'm not going to post your comment because I don't talk bad about people on here, so I'm not going to mention any names.
Well, you did disparage Irish people the other day, just so you know. Mark is Irish.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's why I did that though. I made a comment about being racist, and then I said, "Yeah, I don't like the filthy Irish," but I didn't say that because I really don't like Irish.
Anthony, are you one of the Italian people by chance?
I am Italian, but the whole reason I said it was because they're the only racial group you can actually disparage without getting in trouble.
It is so
That's
weird.
true.
Like everywhere I've lived where there's like an Italian population and an Irish population, they share the same like religion.
Yeah.
They do not
But
get
there's
along.
this-
They do
there's-
not. What is that?
Yeah, there's this weird it's like there's this weird and yes, Michelle, my sister is saying I'm actually a quarter Irish.
Yeah.
No, Michelle. My sister said I'm a quarter Irish. So my grandmother is Irish. But the only reason I said is because Irish are the only group left you can actually say anything about and you won't get in trouble. You can disparage the Irish all you want and nobody says anything.
Yeah, I disparage them about 20 times a day. But
And Mark is correct. The Irish can take it. They're a tough group of people, man.
So, friends, I got a question. Yeah, I don't know the answer to it, but you guys can discuss it if you want to. I've heard of it. I think a couple months ago, somebody asked me this, and he said, if Our Lady would have died before Christ's passion and resurrection, would she had gone to limbos of the fathers or straight to heaven?
That's a good question.
It's an interesting question to discuss. I tried to look for the church fathers. I really couldn't find anything, to be honest with you.
So I can kind of pose an answer here.
Sure.
So
careful,
the
Jake.
gates of
We
heaven.
will excommunicate you if you're wrong.
All right. Well, I have a direct line to Pope Francis, so I can
Oh boy.
So the gates of heaven weren't open until
Right, yeah.
Christ completed his sacrifice. Right now,
Correct.
Until he goes to
it's
the
also
Father.
true, but it's also true that Christ proactively applied the grace of his sacrifice to Mary and saved her from original sin. So you could hypothesize that if he was willing to proactively apply the grace,
Well, you could
his
actually apply the
sacrifice,
question
then
to St.
maybe-
Joseph
Well,
Right?
yeah, and John the Baptist.
and John the Baptist. So, well, no, because here's the thing.
But-
What does Jesus say about John the Baptist? He says, the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than John the Baptist, because John the Baptist dies before Christ opens the gates of heaven. So the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than John the Baptist.
and Joseph and John the Baptist, it's different because their sin was wiped away. Their original sin was wiped away through baptism. And, the church teaches that John received a form of divine baptism in Elizabeth's womb when Mary greeted them.
Right.
So although John the Baptist was born sinless, obviously the distinction with Mary is that Mary was conceived sinless. She was never
Yeah.
touched by the
Yeah.
stain of original sin. So
And that's because
if Christ
Satan
was
could
willing
never have
to-
his hands on her.
right. So if Christ was willing to proactively apply the grace of salvation to her before his sacrifice was completed, you could hypothesize that he also would have been willing to allow her into heaven before he opened the gates. That being said, it's an
But that's
important
why
part
she
of
couldn't. That's probably why God didn't allow her to die before him.
Sure.
well, it's
that's
part
the
of the
question,
prophecy that her heart would be pierced by the sword,
Yeah.
and she couldn't have experienced the level of suffering that was necessary to fulfill that prophecy unless she witnessed the crucifixion.
But we also don't know that she died.
Right. That's been debated. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. So the church fathers would say the kind of modern approach to that is people like to say, oh, Mary would have wanted to experience what her son experienced, so she would have chosen to die. But the church fathers would say that she was assumed body and soul into heaven and did not experience a death. It used to be called the dormition of Mary, right? Before it was called the Assumption.
Yeah.
So the idea of the
still
church
is in the
fathers
East,
was that
yeah.
she, right.
Yeah, I was
So the
gonna
idea of
say
the Eastern churches and the church fathers is that she fell asleep but did not actually die. Her soul did not actually leave her body. She didn't experience death, human death. Because death is a consequence of original sin, right? She also didn't experience labor pains. That's a common misconception too.
Yeah.
The church fathers say
Yeah,
that
that's why Catholics make such a big deal out of all of these Christian depictions of.
That's right. Yeah, those details matter, right? And this is
Yeah,
a big
absolutely.
thing, not to just make everything about my apostolate, but this is a big part of the reason people love the Latin Mass, right? These details are huge.
Well, Jake, can I ask you something then? Because my sister posed this question to me, and she's in the chat. So I didn't know the answer. I didn't know how to answer this. So we always say that Mary in the Apocalypse in chapter 12 is the woman with the star, and
Clothed with the sun.
So it also says right after that she goes into the desert and experiences labor pain. So my
That's right.
sister said, so if Mary never experienced labor pain, how come if she's the woman of the apocalypse, why does she experience labor pain in the apocalypse?
Yeah, that's right. There's a couple different readings of that. One reading of that is, and there are several church fathers who say this. One reading of that is that she's a type of that woman. It's not actually
right. She's not. That's not an exact description of her. She's also the church. She's also,
right.
Yeah.
And then another reading of this, and Scott Hahn talks about this in his book, The Lamb's Supper, which I could go on about forever because he wrote that book about the Novus Ordo Mass, and he then later started attending the traditional Latin Mass, and the detail he goes into of how the liturgy reflects what's said in Revelation is 1,000 times deeper once you start talking about the traditional Latin Mass. So anyway, he talks in the Lamb's Supper pretty extensively about the book of Revelation. And another reading of this, and I don't know of any church father in particular that takes this stance, but another reading of this is that it is physically Mary that's seen, but it's a vision, and everything there represents something else, right? Like there wasn't actually this monster with all these heads, and there wasn't actually a woman giving birth. It was a vision, and in the vision it was Mary, but it wasn't representative of what actually happened, right? So there's a couple different readings of it there, but that's a great question.
I just didn't know when she asked me that. I don't like to pretend I know the answer to something I don't. So I told her when she asked me,
pretending that's my favorite thing.
I said, let me get back to you on that. I'll ask somebody about that, and I'll get a proper explanation.
You know, something that always kind of blew me away once I converted and I accepted the perpetual virginity of Mary, something that I never thought about before until I was talking to a friend, and then I can't remember when he was quoting from the church fathers and whatnot, was that Mary remained a virgin even through childbirth and after childbirth. You know,
this is right. This is right. And this
the
is
fathers say it's like light passing through glass, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so this is why this is important, right? The why is it important that Mary remain a perpetual virgin, right? It's so that you can make the jump to the Immaculate Conception. Okay, because there are a lot of great saints who have remained virgins, right? But she remained a virgin through childbirth.
Yeah, the whole idea is born of a virgin is her what's the word?
Her hymen was never broke.
Intact.
Yeah.
Her hymen remained intact.
And that's important on a Jewish level, right? Because she would have been ritually unclean if that had happened.
It's true.
So the symbolism there is unbelievable. Yeah, but that's the key phrase. The church fathers say that Christ passed through Mary like light through glass.
Light through glass.
And it's important to note that because it's important to note that she A, remained ritually clean, B, that she remained perpetually a virgin, and C, that she didn't experience labor pains, because labor pains are a direct consequence of original sin, which did not touch her. And then now that you've said this, you can make the jump back to our previous question. She didn't have labor pains, which was a result of original sin. So you can also then make the jump that she didn't die, because that's also death is a punishment for original sin.
Yeah.
Which John the Baptist and Saint Joseph both had to undergo.
Right. Beautiful. Fellas, I got to run off. I really appreciate this. Thank you so
Fawaz,
much.
man, congratulations on the birth of your next child. I pray everything goes well. Thank you for coming on, man. Everybody go check out Enoch's album. Plug the album.
Yeah, it's called Traditiones. It's on every digital, store that you can find. And I'm actually releasing early because of what's happening. The pro-life song I had for the next album, so that's coming out next week.
Okay. Dude, Fawaz, thank you so much for coming on. If after the baby is born and after, you guys have everything going on, I'm going to reach out to you again. I'd love to get you back on.
Yeah, absolutely. God bless you guys. I'll be on.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Anthony, I've got like 10 minutes left. I don't want to take over your whole show, but can I ask one more question?
100%, dude.
Because I think this is important. I'm a convert to the faith, and I didn't know until a year ago.
From what? From what?
Basically nothing. I wasn't baptized, but I did a Baptist homeschool curriculum, so I was most closely associated with the Baptist faith, even though my family didn't go to church. Next time I'm on, I want to tell you the whole story, because I never thought of my conversion story as particularly interesting, but as I told it to more and more people, they're like, "That's insane! I've never heard of anybody that did that." Because
can we set that up? Can I have you on and actually talk about your? I would love to do that. Yeah.
For sure. The long and short of it is that my siblings all converted without my parents. We were all very young, and my older sister was 16. We had been part of a Catholic homeschool group, and she, over the years, she was reading about it, talking to her friends, and she went to my parents and said, I want to be baptized, I want to be Catholic, and my sister led all of us, 5 of us, into the church without my parents. So there's more to the story, but that's kind of the interesting point, is that I'm like a 12-year-old kid at the time, studying about the faith and being led by a friend of ours. We didn't do RCIA, luckily, or I probably wouldn't be Catholic anymore. And we did it without our parents.
Horror stories about my wife's RCIA experience.
Oh, I used to help with RCIA.
My wife went through RCIA. It was horrific. So
even at a good parish, it's rough.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, but so this question to me hits home because it's like you can tie it into the traditional liturgy, but it also makes, this whole show, I think, your whole, so you think the faith show, I think makes people think a lot about the important things in our faith and what we know and what we don't know, and not in a way that makes you feel bad, but in a way that makes you want to learn more.
Oh, it's exciting.
And this, I think, is the perfect example of that. And there's kind of a long answer and a short answer, so I'll accept a couple different things. Why do we call our Sunday worship Mass? Every Catholic knows that on Sunday you go to Mass.
Yeah, because it's not called that in the East. It's not called that in the East. In the East, it's the Divine Liturgy. And if you go to an Eastern Catholic parish, which I have, and if you say Mass, they'll say, no, it's the Divine Liturgy. So why is it called the Mass?
That's right. Yeah, it's a tricky question. And like I said, I'm a convert. I was very zealous for the faith when I converted. I've always loved reading about the faith. And this is something I didn't come across until pretty recently.
I don't know the answer. Why do we call it
real
the
quick?
Mass?
Are you guys all Roman? Are you guys all Roman, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I assume that most of you were raised in the Novus Ordo, right? I don't know.
I was raised. We start the show off with a corny Novus Ordo song every time to remind us of what our roots are and how far we've come.
Hey, we've got a section in episode 2 where we show corny Novus Ordo songs, and next to the thing they were taken from. So a lot of Novus Ordo songs were taken from like movie soundtracks and stuff, and people don't know that. So we have this really awesome section in the film where we play a song and you're like, oh yeah, I've heard that in church. And then it switches to like Titanic and you're like, whoa, that's the tune from Willy Wonka. Are you kidding me?
I'm so excited for this second episode.
So the reason I asked that about the Novus Ordo is if you grew up in the Novus Ordo, A, you would have no idea why it was called the Mass. And B, there'd be really no reason to call it that because this word doesn't appear anywhere in the Novus Ordo Mass.
Yeah.
Even though it's called the Novus Ordo Missae. All right. So who do we got? Do we have people in the chat? It's kind of a long thing to type out.
So I had, let me see. Let me see what I got.
I didn't buzz in first here, but I did beat
Tobias
Rob. I just want to say that.
Thanks, Jason.
So Tobias is right, but I wouldn't give him full credit because
that doesn't explain the answer. So
in the old Mass, there's a point where the priest says "Ite missa est," right, and that is where Mass comes from. But what does that mean? Why do we call it that?
It's the same word missile comes from.
Yeah. So does anybody want to take
I'm so happy you're coming on and giving this question. What a great question.
Is it because they're sending us out into the world?
Sending forth.
All right. So Missa means a sending away or a dismissal. So there's a part in the Mass where the priest says, "Ite missa est." It is the dismissal. But that's not the end of Mass. It's actually a little more than middle of the way through Mass. And so you think, why is he dismissing us? And the most common answer is you're being sent out into the world. You've received the grace of Christ. Now go spread it. While the symbolism there is powerful, that's actually not why. It used to be that the Mass was divided into the Mass of the catechumens and the Mass of the faithful. And the catechumens were not allowed to be present during the consecration and the reception of Holy Communion.
Yeah, because we wanted to keep our mystery sacred and private.
That's right. So when the priest turns around and says, "Ite missa est," it is the dismissal. The catechumens actually get up and leave. And the Greek fathers used to call Mass Eucharist, which is what we call, the sacrament. But as the Mass began to Latinize in the 200s and 300s, it was kind of like almost like a slang term, right? The catechumens would be like, the Misa, right? Because they can only stay until the Misa. So in a way, it was not derogatory, but like kind of slang, like the Misa, and it just stuck.
Amazing.
It just stuck.
This is amazing. So you're saying the catechumens would have to leave at the end of the catechumen section, and it was almost like, you guys got to bounce. Mass time.
It's the Misa,
Go.
Mass time. Yeah,
dude, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's kind of a hard trivia question because it takes a lot of explaining. But I mean, I think technically, the Tobias said because of the Ite Misa S. I mean, that's correct. It's just that it requires.
Yeah, but it doesn't give the explanation behind how it started. So
yeah, but I'm glad that you guys said that about being sent out into the world, because that's kind of the common, like, if you hear a priest preach about this, which would be rare, that's probably what he's going to say. But it's actually another kind of modern misconception about it.
Yeah, Tobias says that's why Jake is doing the liturgy. So, Jake, I know you got to bounce. I would love to get you on. Just maybe me, you, and Rob, because me and if Joe, if you want to join us too, man, I'd love to get you on. Just talk.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, maybe
I'll shoot you a DM. We'll talk about it, and we'll set that up, man. That'd be awesome.
Maybe if you're lucky, we can get Cameron on too.
I'm open for that, of course, but I'd be happy.
Would you be open to pre-recording something?
100%, absolutely.
Okay, because if we do that, it's I have hours. What time zone are you in? You're in New York, so you're Eastern. Yeah. I'm Eastern too. I've got some hours in the morning and then early afternoon that are pretty easy. When do you normally, get off work and all?
My regular work schedule is kind of crazy, but there might be a day next week that I might be able to pull something off. We'll talk on the side. If we have to pre-record whenever we do it, I'm fine with that. I'd even take a day off of work if it meant getting you and Cameron on together and really talking about liturgy film. I'd pull that off.
Yeah. Can I give a quick plug before I go?
100%, man. This show's yours.
Yeah, I like that I came on here and just took over. You're a very gracious host. So Mass the Ages is a documentary trilogy about the Latin Mass, as you can probably tell from what we're talking about. Episode 1 was released last year, and praise God, we've received over 1 million views on it. And it's kind of blown up and gone crazy. And we're so excited. We have priests reaching out saying, how do I learn this Mass? We have people reaching out who say, I finally found a parish. I drive 2 hours every Sunday because of this film. I've had Muslims reach out to me and say, I'm really inspired by the beauty of this Mass. Lots of Protestants. So the effect that this film has had through God's grace has just been remarkable. And we're getting ready to release the second episode. Episode 1 was kind of an introduction to the Latin Mass.
I wept during episode 1, just so you know. It was such a moving experience for me.
Every Catholic should see this film. I mean, I don't care if you're somebody, you don't even go to the Latin Mass and you're not even curious about it. You've never really cared that much. You should still watch this film. This is probably the most Catholic film I've seen probably in my life. It captured so much of, I think, what the rest of us have been feeling for a long time.
And on top of that, my children. So when I'm going to let you finish your plug, but when episode 1 came out, I made my whole family sit together. My children, my wife, everyone. My kids were like, "Oh, we have to watch another Catholic thing, Dad." At the end of the episode, my children said to me, they said, "Dad, that was such an amazing documentary. Like, we thought we were going to be sitting through something boring." My children loved it. So,
well, look, I'm not a filmmaker by trade. I got involved with Cameron because of a different skill set of mine. So I was the first one to say to Cameron, I was like, look, I don't want to make a sappy, low budget Christian film that's going to sit on YouTube and get 100 views. And it's just the 100 people that already go to Latin Mass, right? That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in powerful story, something that can change hearts and minds. And the way Cameron describes it is, we don't want to pull punches, right? We don't want to just kind of not give people the meat, but we also don't want to take cheap shots. I mean, YouTube, traditional Catholic YouTube is just full of guys on webcams just taking cheap shots and clickbait and all of that. Yeah. And we want to find that middle ground. We don't want to pull punches and we don't want to throw cheap shots, right? So episode 1 was kind of this surprising storytelling. It's not a bunch of like college professors sitting around telling the audience why the Latin Mass is so great. It's a very emotional story about a widow and her kids and how they lost their husband and how the Latin Mass community got them through that. intertwined with some information about the Mass. Episode 2, though, is gonna really shock people, I think, because if you're like me, if you're like the rest of us who grew up going to Novus Ordo Mass, maybe you've never heard of Latin Mass. Probably the most common thing is that you've heard of it, but you think it's just regular Mass in Latin, which is what I thought for years, right?
Yeah.
And I think episode 2 is going to shock people because it's a deep dive into how the new Mass was created. And a lot of people think, oh, you're criticizing the new Mass. That means you're criticizing Vatican II because Vatican II created the new Mass. Well, that's a misconception. The new Mass was created 5 years after the close of Vatican II. So we dive into all of that, but we keep our same storytelling, winsome approach. And guys, I can say this because I'm not the one who edited it and who shot the film. It's beautiful. Like this isn't some guy with a webcam or some guy making a movie on his iPhone. Like our cinematographer is an Emmy-nominated cinematographer. He works for National Geographic. He's worked for everybody. Like this is the real deal, and we're super excited about it. Episode 2 premieres on our YouTube channel on May 26th, 8 Eastern, I think. It's about an hour long, so it's not going to take too much of your time, and it's well worth a watch. It's surprising. It's surprising to people who attend the TLM. They may not know all the information here. It's funny. When we premiered it in Chicago, we were like, are these jokes going to land? Because it's kind of weird to stick jokes in a movie about the Latin Mass, but it's funny, it's winsome, it's emotional, and we're just so pumped to share it. Thank you for having me on, for letting me give this plug.
After this show's over today, Joe and I are going to reach out to you, and we're going to figure out how we could get this thing in New York. I want this thing. I want to see episode 1 and episode 2 right after.
It's funny because when we were scheduling this, I told Cameron, I said, it might be hard to do episode 1 and 2 together and then the Q&A. Like, it's kind of a long night. But when I sat there and watched on the screen, watched episode 1 and back to back with episode 2, it's super powerful. You could almost have them run together and be one,
I wanted to throw something at the screen when episode 1 ended.
Dude, the cliffhanger
I was so mad.
end of episode 1.
I was so angry.
I can say this because I've said this in front of Cameron, so it's not talking bad about him. When we did our team draft of episode 1, I was like, dude, it has to be longer. And he was like, no, people want a short documentary, whatever. And then it comes out, and I probably had, 6,000 emails that were like, only 40 minutes? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's called Mass of the Ages. You could see episode 1 on YouTube right now for free. Episode 2 is coming out May 26th, you said?
That's right. May 26th. Episode 2 is titled A Perfect Storm. And if you've seen episode 1, you know why it's titled that. We're kind of
TJ, go watch episode 1. I promise you will not be disappointed.
Mass Ages. We're going to continue offering stuff for free. We've got a lot of really generous donors, but we're dedicated to paying people, to making high quality films, and not backing down. So we're super excited about it. I think episode 2 is going to be might be a little more controversial than episode 1, but I think people are going to like it.
Jake, I think it's one of the most important. I think it's one of the most important apostolates that's going on right now. Please don't stop doing what y'all are doing. 50 years after Vatican II, people deserve to know what happened.
And I think they deserve to know. I think they deserve to know in a realistic way that doesn't sugarcoat it, but also in a way that's not just like I said, taking cheap shots at
no. But what was stolen from us? Our inheritance was taken from us. We lost our inheritance.
So a lot of people feel that way. Like when they discover this, they're going, well, I want that prayer said at my Mass. I want that blessing at my kid's baptism. You know what happened to this? And those are valid questions. You're not questioning the authority of the church when you say what happened here. And so we're just bringing that to light for people. We've got the other thing I'm excited about. We've got a lot of bishops on board. We've interviewed, I think, 4 bishops, and we've got Archbishop Corteleone kind of waiting in the wings. He's going to come to our San Francisco premiere. Bishop Strickland will be at our Dallas premiere. Bishop Schneider gave us an interview. Bishop Athanasius Schneider, Bishop Conley, Bishop Bruskowitz. So I think we're up to 5.
So you're actually throwing some names out that we're not used to hearing. So Schneider, everybody knows. Strickland, everybody knows. Corteleone, everybody knows. But then you're throwing some new names out there that I didn't.
So Conley's
Lincoln.
Conley's the Diocese of Lincoln, and Bruskowitz is actually Bishop Emeritus of Lincoln. So Conley succeeded him. But Bruskowitz is interesting because he brought Scott Hahn into the faith, and he kind of shepherded. Scott Hahn was brought in the 80s, like right at the height of the JP2 pontificate, very Novus Ordo. And Bruskowitz was kind of planting the bug in Scott Hahn, and now Scott Hahn's a big Latin Mass guy.
Well, you want to know something? I mean, I don't know about you guys. If it wasn't for Scott Hahn and the Protestant converts of the 80s and 90s, I wouldn't be the Catholic I am today. Those guys, I mean, you will never hear me have anything but heaps of praises for Scott Hahn. I've seen him live a dozen times.
He just has a knack for, he steps around it. He never steps in it. Like he just says the right thing every time.
Oh, he set my heart on fire for scripture in a way nobody else ever could.
I'm not going to name names because it's still out there on Twitter, and I don't want to talk bad about this guy, even though he really hates our project and makes that known. But I had somebody accuse us of only inviting radical Catholics to be a part of this film. Okay, Scott Hahn was the second person to give us an interview. He was on board. It went Eric Sammons first, and then Scott Hahn and Peter Kreeft were second and third. Right, so those are. Peter Kreeft and Scott Hahn are some mainstream Catholic names, and I was arguing.
Yeah, Scott was very careful in his interview with you guys. I watched it. He was very careful. He said, "Look, I'm a glad trad." He was not knocking the Novus Ordo in any way. He said he probably wouldn't have converted without the Novus Ordo, but he was absolutely talking about the beauty of the ancient liturgy.
You know, this guy his arguing with me. I said, you know. We didn't just invite like radical Catholics, radical traditionalists to be a part of this. Like we have Scott Hahn and Peter Kreeft on board. And he said, those are two of the most radical Catholics I know. And I said, you better be careful because Scott Hahn and Peter Kreeft together are probably responsible for more conversions than anybody who's lived since maybe Bishop Sheen and maybe even more than Bishop Sheen. And he's going to be a saint one day. So, I mean, Scott Hahn and Peter Kreeft are the real deal. And we were so thrilled to get them on board. It really
those two guys had such a big part in my conversion. I couldn't even tell you. Yeah,
it's kind of like if you start to do the Catholic family tree. I mean, how many of us can trace some part of our conversion or our family's conversion back to one of those two guys? Yeah. I mean, they're just unbelievable. I think I saw the other day that Scott Hahn's written like 130 books. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I don't doubt it.
And they're all bestsellers too. It's not like he's just putting books out there for the sake of it. Like
if anybody's interested, the greatest Scott Hahn talk I ever heard, you have to go on the St. Paul what's his website? The
St. Paul Center.
St. Paul Center website. You have to log in and like create an account. He has a biblical study series that he did with priests, and there's one that he does on the Danielic mystery in the book of Ephesians. That I'm not kidding. It is the greatest Bible study I've ever done in my life. I'm doing a video on it soon because I've never heard anybody else talk about it, and it was what lit my heart on fire for the church itself. Like realizing that the church is the fulfillment of the gospel for us is the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is the gospel.
Yeah, Saint Augustine said, the Bible has supreme authority, but I only believe it has supreme authority because it was the church that gave it supreme authority, right? The church came first.
So, Jake, thank you so much for coming on, man. I'm going to reach out to you, and we're going to set up an interview, and I would love to just hear your conversion story, how you know Cameron, how you got involved in this project. There's so many things I want to talk to you about. We're running really long, so we're going to do a few more trivia questions after we let you off. We'll pick a winner in the chat, and we'll wrap it up for tonight. Dude, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah,
thanks,
anytime.
Jake. Enjoyed it.
Take care, Jake.
Yeah, take care, guys. See ya.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. So we're going to we'll do a few more questions tonight. This show was a lot of talking and not a lot of questions, man. So Mark and Jason, I would love to get you guys back on again, man.
Dude, I'd love to come on. Yeah, I'm sorry I was late.
Well, I do need to make a clarification. Going way back, you posted a comment where I think Jacob made a comment about Central Time. You know what Central Time is also known as, right?
Fake time?
Normal people time.
Yeah, normal.
So wait, real quick, I have to address someone in the chat. Let me just see something. Mark, I go to St. Joseph's in Queens for the 7 a.m. Latin Mass on weekdays. So they have a 7 a.m. Latin Mass on weekdays at St. Joseph's in Queens. I go maybe twice a week whenever I can slip in. So my work schedule, there's some days where I have a crew and I have to stay with my crew, but there's some days where I'm alone and I'm running around checking things. I go to St. Joseph's in Queens to go to Latin Mass at 7 a.m. there. So if you ever see me, Mark, stop me and say hello if you're ever at that mass.
I'm gonna be right back because this smart water is going more to my bladder than my brain. So I'll be right back.
I'm out of beer. What we'll do is we'll ask 3 or 4 more questions. We always wrap it up at 2 hours. I'm not going to keep people on here for more than 2 hours, so we'll do a couple more questions. Jay, go pee.
No, go ahead. If you're only doing a couple more,
I mean, we're going to stay in like 15 minutes. So
yeah, go ahead.
What we'll do is, since we got Mark on, I just blew the answer. By saying that. Yeah, let me just tell you what I was just going to say. Since we got Mark on, I said, what country can you find the shrine of Our Lady of Knock, where 15 people witnessed an apparition of Mary and Joseph and St. John the Evangelist? The answer is obviously Ireland.
The great country of Ireland.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see. All right. Okay, here's a good one. What are the titles or names given to a person for the 4 official steps in the canonization process? So you have somebody getting canonized. What are the 4 titles you give them as they go along that process?
Oh.
So you have 4 names. So the first one comes, and you have 4 of them. So let's see if anybody in the chat gets it. There are 4 titles we give to a person on the canonization process. Ooh, Tobias got that one quick, man. All right, I got a correct answer in the chat. Which one of you guys got it?
I think I did.
What do you got, Rob?
Yeah, Rob.
Servant of God, venerable, blessed, and saint.
Okay, so I got. Whoa, this is moving fast. I got Tobias got it first, Jake second, and Beth third. So Alex, your wife's better than you. So let's go. So I got Tobias, Jake, and Beth.
But ain't that the story of all of us?
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, the wives are fast in here. So Tobias, Jake, and Beth. Jake. And Beth's getting her first point up. So in the chat, Judith still has 5. Don has 2. Hope has 4. Rob F has 2. Ashley has 1. Jason's wife has 1. Jeff has 4. Jake F has 3. John M had 1. Tobias has 3. Alex has 1. Renee has 1. Beth has 1. Out of you guys,
I ain't got nothing.
Fawaz left. Kennedy left. So let's get rid of them. Kennedy had 3. Fawaz had 2. Rob has 1. Liturgy film left, so Jake left. So you guys are pretty. So Mark's got 2, Rob's got 1. Out of you guys. All right, so you guys got a little battle here. So Rob's got 1, Mark's got 2, Jason 0, Joe Boca 0. All right, here's a good one. Rob, I don't know if you should be allowed to answer this. No, only because
you don't let me answer.
Well, here's the thing. Our channel logo has to do with this question. So, what is the name of the famous sculpture in St. Peter's depicting Jesus on Mary's knees after the crucifixion?
I'm too slow, man.
The sculpture in St. Peter's depicting Jesus on Mary's knees after the crucifixion. What is that statue called? So let's see. Anybody in the chat? Oh, I got plenty of quick. Everybody's fast in the chat. So I got plenty of answers. Who hit it?
I think Mark got it first.
We got Mark.
Oh, Mark, yeah, I'm sorry.
The Pietà.
It is the Pietà. Yep. Mark, you got 3. So on the chat, I got, let's see, who's got it first? I got
Mark, Jake. I'm glad my answers are coming in through text for you.
That's Jake, right. Tobias, and Renee. Let's see, Jake.
That's why I'm so slow in hitting the buzzer down here, because I'm having to text you the answer first.
little shake and bake.
If you was a hot dog, would you eat yourself?
All right, here's a good one. Which relic of St. Anthony's body was miraculously preserved while the rest of his corpse decomposed? That's a good one. Which relic of St. Anthony's body was miraculously preserved
while
the rest of his corpse? St. Anthony of Padua. So let's see if anybody in the chat. I got Shelby. Renee got it wrong. Shelby and Jake got it. All right, so we got correct answers. What do you guys got?
Nothing.
Nobody?
Well, wait, Mark
Well,
did.
Yeah, I chimed in. I hope I don't know.
Don't
if
get
it's
a
right.
negative. You know you get negative points on this, right?
I know, but I really think I might be. Is
What
it
do you
is it his finger?
No.
Oh wait. I'll take it. I'll take a shot.
All right. So wait. Mark's losing a point. He's going
Okay.
down to 2. Rob,
Hold on,
you
wait.
can
Will I lose
steal the
it?
point.
I thought.
Will I lose it if I get it wrong?
If you get it wrong, you're losing a point.
No, then I'm not taking a shot.
Oh,
That's
come
why-
on. You
That's why
got
I did
it.
Take a shot.
You got to
Who's
play
gonna
to
take a
win,
shot?
man.
Okay, I'll try.
What do you got?
Is it a foot?
No. What is wrong with you guys?
You play to win the game. His head.
Yo, this is an easy one.
I'm not
Think
named
about it.
Anthony.
St.
like you.
Anthony. He was the golden tongue, bro. Come on.
No,
How
no,
many
no.
guys-
John Chrysostom was the golden.
I
Yeah.
know, but it's still St. Anthony. St. Anthony spoke in tongues. So
I've
when
never-
St. Anthony would preach,
Really? I didn't know
people
that.
heard them in their own language.
I thought he just found my car keys. I thought that
There
was-
is one clear reason why you might.
Look, I got Ashley guessing arm.
There's one good reason why you
Hand.
might know this. We don't, Anthony.
All right, so Shelby, Judith, and Tobias. So I got Shelby, Judith. Judith, you are on fire tonight. Shelby, Judith, and Tobias.
Did Judith win last week? Who was it that won last
Judith
week?
didn't win last week, but she did. She has won.
No, it was Ashley that won last week, wasn't it?
Last
The
week
one-
was Faith LeVay.
Oh, okay. I thought the
Faith
lady
LeVay.
you did the
Ashley-
interview with.
Yeah, Ashley has won.
Oh, okay.
But she didn't win last week. So Shelby says she was born on his feast day. Beautiful. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is a good one. You guys should all know this. What is the name of the 3-tiered papal crown retired by Pope Paul VI in 1963? What is the name of the 3-tiered crown retired by Pope Paul VI in 1963? Oh, I just blew it. I didn't mean to. I meant to hit something. I meant to clear something. All right. I just blew it.
I got it. There we go.
I meant to hit this, and I hit the answer. So, all right. So let's see. Jake, Tobias, and Ashley. Did you guys see it?
Yes, we all saw it.
Ashley.
What happened to whoever was watching the chat for you? They're not here tonight, huh?
No, Mrs. C is not here tonight. So, all right.
Hallelujah does it though, right?
No.
Hallelujah.
Usually, Mrs. C keeps track of the actual contestants.
Oh,
And I feel bad asking people, but
You're
Faith is here.
terrible at
Faith, we were just talking about you saying how you won last week. So Faith got a copy of, let's see.
A good Texas howdy.
Faith got a copy of, and she just received it today, Light and Peace, Instructions for Devout Souls to Dispel Their Doubts and Alter Their Fears, allay their fears. I'm sorry. Yes, so she just got her book today. She just sent me a message saying that she got it. Let's see. All right, this is a good one. Let's see. All right, this is a good one. You guys are gonna like this one. Which popular 4th of July firework is named after persecuted Christians under Nero? There's a firework that we all use that was named after persecuted Christians under Nero.
Oh,
So I got Jake got it. Good job, Jake. Shelby got it. Jeff got it. All right, who hit it?
I think Joe got it first.
Joe
You got
did.
Joe.
I think so. Is it a Roman candle?
It is a Roman candle, Joey. Good job, bro.
All right. I'm on the board.
So
man.
Roman
Let's go.
candles, for anybody that doesn't know, they would take Christians and set them on fire, and they were called Roman candles when they were persecuting Christians,
Oh,
and
geez, how nice.
they would use human beings as torchlights throughout the streets of
To
Rome.
light the streets, yeah.
So I got Jake, Jeff, and Shelby. Jake, Jeff, and Shelby. So I got a tie between Jake and Jeff, 6-6, and Judith has 6. We got a 3-way tie.
666.
We got a 3-way tie.
We got to break that
The
666.
show is
Yeah, it's
compromised.
gotta go.
Show
Yeah,
is compromised.
Jake, I started watching that movie 3 times. I own it, and I fall asleep every time. Is it actually a good movie? It's like a little boring, and I fall asleep. And I hope maybe it gets better a little ways into it. But
Guys, I'm gonna bounce. I'm sorry. I got an emergency. I gotta head out.
go ahead. Do you think?
God bless y'all. See y'all later.
Yeah.
You got
Take
it.
it easy, Mark.
All right, yeah, we're pushing it with time this week. So we have a 3-way tie between the contestants. So we do have to do at least one more question. Whoever gets this next question out of Judith, Jake, and Tobias is going to win the chat
So
tonight.
Mark left. Does that mean it's between me and Joe?
Yeah, you guys. Well, Joe's got 1. You got 0 because you lost points. Joe, you're winning the second week in a row.
Look at that, baby.
I'm the worst person at trivia.
No, but dude, you're good for a laugh, and you brought your friend, and your friend did good, and I like having you here, man. So
No, actually, I enjoy watching it, enjoy being on here, and I'll be honest with you, I take some of these trivia questions out to friends that I'm talking to.
yeah, they're fun,
and
man.
I'll be like, "Hey, what color vestments does the Pope wear at her funeral?"
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm happy because some of these questions I wrote tonight I didn't use, so I could use them next week. So we'll see. Me and Rob are gonna have to talk. I'm going away next week, so we might have to do a Wednesday night trivia show, Rob, because I won't be here Friday. So maybe we'll do a Wednesday night, and I know Joe Boca has a hard time during the week. We'll see if he can make it. We'll figure it out. So, but all right, we're gonna go last question.
Maybe that means we should get all the women on Friday when you're not here.
You could do it if you guys want to do a show without me. Absolutely, I won't be here to rang on people.
I told you my wife is tribute. I mean,
so if your wife wants to come on and we could get a couple other ladies on, maybe
I don't know if she
host
wants to, but I'm gonna volunteer.
All right, this is let's see. All right. Oh man, let's see. All right, I'll go with this one. According to tradition, what house was transported from the Holy Land to its present site in Italy? According to tradition, what house was transplanted from the Holy Land to Italy?
Man, you're
oh boy, Judah's got it.
It's deep in my brain somewhere.
Oh man, dude, the 3 people that got it are the same 3 people that have the questions. All right, let's see. All right, which one of you guys got it?
I did.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, first.
It's the House of the Holy Family, and it's in Loreto, Italy.
All right, so I got Judith, Jake. All right, so it's now. All right, Tobias, you didn't get in fast enough. So it's between Judith and Jake. Judith at 7. Jake is at 7. So let's see. Jake is at 7. So now we got a 2-way tie. So we got to do another question.
And now Joe and I are tied.
Okay. Yes.
About to have a
You guys
3-way
got
tie.
1-1.
Come on, Jason. Just put the initial in right away.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Okay, this is a good one. What is the popular term used to describe the canon lawyer appointed by the church to argue against canonization?
Not any longer, though.
Right, but you know what I mean.
Rob
What
is
is a popular term used to describe the canon lawyer appointed by the church to argue against the canonization of a candidate? Let's see who's got it. Let's see. So I got Judas is out. Tobias has got it. Tobias is back in it. And oh man, Tobias is back in. All right, this is crazy. We're gonna have to do another question. Poor Jason's got to pee.
No, you're right.
So I got Alex, Tobias, and Renee. So now Tobias gets back up where he lost that last one. So Judith and Jake didn't get it.
Are you gonna give me a chance to tie it?
Who hit it?
I hit it before you ever even.
And then you started showing the answers.
But
I showed it. I thought you guys. Oh my god, I'm the worst.
In complete honesty, that was gonna be my guess.
Yeah,
okay, so I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine too. So yeah. No
Do you guys know the official position? They're called the promoter of the faith.
Yes, the promoter of the faith.
Oh, interesting.
All right, so we'll do an easy one then. This is a tiebreaker. All right. Name the 3 Fatima visionaries. Name the 3 Fatima visionaries. Let's see. The 3 Fatima visionaries. Tobias is in it. Let's see. We got a 3-way tie. Tobias, Jake, and Judith. Whichever one of them gets it in first is winning. I don't care if they all get it in as 3. Whoever out of those 3 gets it in first wins. I got. Jake got it in first. All right, Jake, you're winning this week.
Supposed to show it again.
Yeah, but you guys are fine. Come on. You guys don't win anything. Who cares? This is all about the chat.
Wait. We don't win anything?
You guys don't win anything. This is all about the
You win
chat.
the chance to be on again with us, Jason.
Listen,
Yeah, there you go.
Jake has won several times in the chat. I never send them anything. Jake, I'm going to tell you something. You got a sick prize tonight. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Hang on. We got a really, really cool prize tonight, man. So my friend Don, who goes to mass with me and Joe. Oh,
And it's broken.
broke it. So my friend Don goes to mass with me. His wife put together a really, really cool present, a really cool prize. So you're getting like a $40 coffee mug from Catholic Coffee Company. You're getting, we got 2 brown scapulars, you got a Stella Maris medal, and you have a holy water keychain. And it's really, really cool. Look, a holy water keychain. So Jake, you know what? I'm giving it to Tobias. Tobias, you send me.
Tobias is new.
Me,
Yeah, I gotta give it.
yeah, Tobias is new. Jake, you're not getting it. Tobias, I'll tell you what, man. You're new to the chat. You send me your. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you just send me an email to avoidingbabylon@gmail.com with your address. Avoiding. Rob, can you type it in?
I'll put it in the banners.
Yeah. So, Tobias, I'm not giving it to Jake. You know what? I'm just not giving it to him. I really like Jake, but I'm not giving it to him.
Your show, your rules, right?
Yeah, my show, my rules. Shelby. Shelby's Jake's wife. He was excited as a kid on Christmas. Thank you for crushing his excitement. That is amazing.
Knowing Jake will hold a grudge for the
Shelby,
next
I'm going to tell
years.
you what, though. I'm not giving it to Jake, but I just ordered a handful. I got 5 of them. They're Thurible keychains. They're awesome. I'm sending one to Shelby, not Jake. But Tobias, you send me to avoidingbabylon@gmail.com. Send me your address, your contact info. I will reach out to you. And Tobias, you are winning an awesome set. You're getting a $40 Catholic coffee mug. You're getting a holy water keychain, 2 brown scapulars, a Stella Maris little placard thing. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us. We love doing this show. It's a really, I'm the worst host ever.
Who is Jake? Is he the trad dad says?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he's also really really close with Rob and his wife. So I figure it's actually really funny to
I love Jake.
This channel is the antidote to the dumpster fire that is Catholic Twitter and YouTube. Thank you, Lou. We try to keep it fun. We try not to get into controversy. We try to really just bring people together. We want to actually unite the clans. And I think the way we do that is around the faith, not around, factions and not around things like that. So thank you, Ashley. I really, huh?
Not me.
What'd you say? Not you?
I like division and strife.
Yeah, Joe is. Listen to me. You guys have to understand.
Yeah,
Joe's been texting me. He wants to go at somebody on Twitter so bad. I'm like, don't do it, Joe. Don't do it. Hold
all
the guns, Joe.
all the tweets I don't send because of Anthony.
I'm always talking him down. You guys have no idea. I'm like, Joe, don't do it, Joe. Don't do it, Joe. He's like, but I want to do it. So I'm like, Joe, don't do it, Joe.
I'm like, I have to because no one's gonna.
All right, so it is Avoiding Babylon. Rob wrote that. That's great. Jake, I'm sorry. You are You are lehu zaha tonight. So Tobias, please, avoidingbabylon@gmail.com. Send me your contact info. I'm sending you this awesome prize. Any of you guys got anything to plug? Besides, Jason has his Tradman podcast on YouTube. Go ahead, Jay, plug it.
Yeah, no, we just my co-host Mark, who was on here earlier, we just talk about different topics that are going on in the church and the world, whatever we think of at that time, and we kind of try to do it from more of a simple-minded person's idea. You got all these shows where you've got theologians and very educated people talking about topics. We just try to approach it from what would the layman say to these people? What questions would they ask? What are they confused about? And we just
and you guys don't get into controversial stuff either. You guys have some really cool guests on. You're doing a terrible job of plugging your own show, but I actually enjoy your own. I actually really do enjoy your show. I've watched a few episodes. So guys, if you get a chance, please go check out Tradman Podcast. Joe B, when is your Malcolm X?
We do have Bishop Athanasius Snyder coming on.
Oh, so. I'm jealous.
Wow.
I'm jealous.
Nice.
Yeah, these guys get big guests, man.
What's that?
How did you
guys
get
get big guests?
Well, we reached out for Dr. K, and then the lady over at Sophia Press, sent us an email back saying, "Would you like to have an interview with Bishop Athanasius Snyder?" And we're like, "Well, I guess so." So,
no.
Rob, can you please get on some of the more look, I'm good at getting like the other guys that do what we do.
People,
yeah, but you're more professional than me, Rob. You got to get on some of these more professional interviews, man. Joe, you got anything to promote, or just coming over here? Were you doing your thing over here with us?
Nah, just read my Twitter.
Read it. No. Check it. All Joe's articles out of 1 Peter 5, man. Joe's.
Joe... I have two articles for 1 Peter 5. I'm working on another one. Not for them, but they didn't say they'd publish it yet, so I don't want to drop their name. I just got
So he's working with another online writing outfit. So I hope that Joe gets that gig, and then if he gets that, he will be doing a video on this channel about
regardless if I get it or not.
You'll be doing the video on our channel. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight, man. I love hanging with you guys on Fridays. So
I enjoyed it.
I look forward to it.
All right, we'll do this again. We'll figure out our next schedule. Thank you, everybody. It was awesome as usual.
Thanks, gentlemen.
God bless.